welcome back, everyone, to the One More Thought podcast here at Church on the Rock. I'm so excited that you're tuning in today. We've got multiple guests on the podcast today. I'm so excited about this. We started something here at Church on the Rock called Young Communicator Sunday, and I'm so excited to have these guys on today. They all preached at their campus yesterday, and it was phenomenal. I wasn't able to see all of them, but I got to go back and watch them, and you guys just crushed it. And so I want to welcome these guys. These guys are amazing young leaders here at Church on the Rock. And so real quick, I just want you guys to introduce yourself. Tell us your age. Tell us a little bit about your family. We'll start down on the end with Pastor Zach.
Yeah, my name's Zach Inojos. I'm 30 years old. Been married for about 5 years now. Have a daughter, so that's a little bit about me.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, my name's Justin Esquivel. I am at the Dream Center campus. I'm 30 years old. I'm married to the best wife ever. Her name's Jessie. She's on our staff with us, and we've been married for about 4 years now. And so, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm Jeremiah Miller. I'm at the North Campus. I'm 34, and I'm married to Nikki, and she's also on staff with us. We've been married right at 10 years now.
Yes, and I love these guys. These guys are so amazing. I guess I'm the old guy now, so I can say that I am so proud of these guys. These guys inspire me to be better as a leader. And so today we're going to talk about the younger generation. I find it comical to hear so many people talking about the younger generation and where they are, and they're never going to make it, and not like we are. And here I am, and I get to see you guys, and I am excited about the younger generation. I think you guys have far surpassed where I was when I was 30 and 34 and this age. And so we want to have a conversation with you guys today. And the first thing I want to talk about, I remember being y'all's age. I'm 45, so it wasn't that long ago. But I remember this rushed spirit in me with like trying to get there, trying to make it, trying to fulfill my calling by the time I was 30 years old. And I want you guys to talk for just a minute. I know we've talked about it a little bit. Just this thought of, man, I want to live out my calling, but I don't feel like I'm there yet. I don't feel like I've made it yet. And so you guys talk to us for just a second. Jeremiah, you go first, man. Tell us about trying to keep moving forward and live out that calling and feeling like we're not there yet.
Yeah, I think that's, if I'm being honest, it's been a battle.
Yeah.
Before I've really dealt with, trying to be present where I'm at, and not just looking at the next thing or a promotion or
That's good.
And I think it changed for me as I developed not just the feeling of I'm a student pastor, but relationship with the students.
Yeah.
Because for them, they're not looking at you as you're not to the next level yet. You're their pastor.
Yeah.
And for me,
That's good.
that was the moment it shifted, I think, when these relationships with young adults, and it's not just middle school and high school students. We're involved all the way up to 30, and man, that 18 to 30 young adult group, these guys are making life-changing decisions on a weekly basis.
Yeah, for sure.
And walking beside them has developed into a calling. I think just because they're not waiting to promote to their next level of life. They're right where they are. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I love
That's
that.
good.
I think so many times we especially in the church world, there's this tendency to feel like, well, the youth pastor position is just a stepping stone to my next assignment.
Yeah.
And man, I've watched you guys just embrace this season so well, and just really, I mean, you can pastor people just like anybody else is pastoring. There's no JV, there's no junior, there's no, junior high Holy Spirit, however you want to say it. You're actually pastoring people that are just as important to God as the older generation or even the generation below them. And so, Justin, tell us about your experience.
Yeah, I'm kind of that same way. I'm really driven, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just, when there's a goal, when I got on Church on the Rock, that's just how I was. I wanted to climb up the ladder. I want to be able to preach. I love preaching. Communicating is one of my favorite things. And but when I started realizing, whenever I started working with our students and everything, they go through some real life things. You know what I mean? And so it's not all about communicating. It's not all about preaching, but it's just being there for them, whether if it's going to a basketball, football game, even a play, whatever that may seem like. And so it really changed the focus for me, I think when I was 28, when I started realizing that it's not, the platform's amazing. And I think a lot of people sometimes in the younger generation want to have a platform. But it's really about, doing life with them and just meeting them where they're at and understanding that, And so that changed from when I was about 28 years old, where I was like, the real goal is sharing the gospel, Jesus, that's the goal. And so just showing these kids that there's hope, you know what I mean? And that there's I get what you're going through. I totally understand that. I played sports all my life. Wanted to be the best at everything. But man, dude, we have a savior. His name's Jesus, and he's the one that paid for it all.
That,
so
I love that. I've heard somebody said one time that your platform off the stage is actually a lot bigger than your platform on the stage, and how you're living life and spending time with those kids. And so, man, I love that. Zach, what would you say about in your experience?
I think for me, so I got into full-time ministry when I was 21. And I think when I first started, I had really big dreams of accomplishing great things. And I think I still have those dreams and still have those aspirations. But like, from the time I was about 21 to about 27 or 28, in my mind, it was always like, all right, what's next for me? What's next for me? And I was always looking for the next thing. But probably about my third year into working at Church on the Rock, I was still in that place of like, okay, what's my next move? What's my next step in ministry? And I think when I was about 27, 28 years old, I feel like the Lord spoke to me and just said, you're right where I want you. And I think that's when it really switched for me, because then I stopped looking for what's next. And I was like, the best place to be is where the Lord has me. And I'm going to stay here until he moves me. And so I think it shifted from like, I'm not going to look for the next thing. I'm just going to be focused on what the Lord has for me now. And when he moves me, I'll move.
That's good.
Man, that's so good. That's I don't want to sound like the old guy, but there's so many things. I tell people all the time now that I'm actually leading the church. If I could go back to when I was 30 years old and do it all over again, I would do so many things differently, because I was always just looking for the next assignment, the next thing. And I think there's a contentment that comes in our life where we're like, God, I'm anchored here. I'm here until you want me to be here. And when it's time to leave, I'll leave the right way and I'll leave healthy, but I'm here in the moment. Like you said, Jeremiah, being present. So I love that. One of the things I love about you guys work very well together. In a situation where there could be competitiveness, there could be comparison. Man, they've got this and they've got this, and we even talked about it at our last team day that it's very rare to find three guys your age that work so well together. And so I want to flip the script a little bit, because we are talking about that, but I know that the enemy will let insecurities rise up in us. He'll let inadequacies rise up. He'll let maybe the inferior syndrome. I remember when I was y'all's age and I became a part of the communication team, and it was like, oh man, I want to preach like that. They do that. So, and it's like this, I don't feel like I'm there yet. And so talk to me about this. Has there been times where those things have creeped up in you with the three of you guys working? And B, how'd you deal with it? How'd you handle it? Maybe you're still handling it. And so talk to us about just that part of it. Let's start at the other end.
Let me start, because I 100% deal with this. And so I think for me, I'm the youngest of the three of us. Jeremiah's probably been in ministry. Jeremiah and Justin have been, in church ministry longer than I have. And so for me, I think there's insecurities that rise, especially because with my position being the youth director, leading the ministry. But then I got guys like them that are like, man, I think they're above me in wisdom and knowledge and preaching. There's a lot of things that they do better than I do. And so there's some times where I'm like, man, Jeremiah can easily be leading this and do it better than I can, or Justin can do it better than I can. There's been times where me and Jeremiah are sitting down counseling someone, And, they'll ask a question. And in my mind, I'm kind of just like, just get over it, just do it. And then Jeremiah, it's like he's Jesus. It's like he gives like the best wisdom, the best knowledge, the best answer. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing? You know? And so there's some times like that where I get really insecure. Or maybe like on a Wednesday night, Pastor Justin will be preaching and, he's fiery and he's, an extremely gifted communicator. And then there's times where I'm like, man, am I boring? Like, am I not as good as him? And so I think what helps me is not comparing our gifts, but celebrating our differences.
Come on.
And so, as part of the body, we all have different gifts. Jeremiah is extremely wise, very gifted teacher. Justin's a phenomenal preacher. And then I think I have gifts that are separate. And when you put all three of those gifts together, we can go so much further than we can go by ourselves. And so I think celebrating each other and our differences is what helps me.
It's so good, man. That is so good. What about you guys?
I think, at a really base level, number one, we like each other.
We're friends.
We're friends. But I think as I was growing up, there was an older man in my life who spoke a lot into me, and he had this silly saying that at 34, I think about it once a week. He said, if you judge a turtle on its ability to climb a tree, you'll always think it's a terrible turtle. And I know that's so silly, but it's kingdom.
It is.
And man, Romans 12, the body, like there's things that they do that I'm terrible at and I have no desire to be good at, and vice versa. And for me, my struggles is when I start judging a turtle by how good he can climb a tree, because it's like, man, I'm not made for that. There's my insecurities come from a lot. Like, we'll stand out front, especially on youth nights, and the middle school and high school kids, they'll walk up and they've got all these cool handshakes with these guys, and it seems I've struggled with, I don't relate to the students as much, and they walk up to me and they're like, Pastor Miller, how are you? But it's like, man, if I try to wear a backwards hat and fit in, that's
so good.
I'm not meant for that. So there's something with, I trust them, they trust me, and they let me play the role that God made me. And when they play theirs, we're so much better.
Man, that's good. That's so good.
I think for me personally, I struggle with insecurity all my life, like big time. Whether if it's on the stage or just talking on one-on-one counseling or mentor type meeting. And I think the biggest thing for me, Pastor Jackie told us a while back when we first started, about this whole competition thing or the insecurities and all this stuff. Really, the way we should live our life is open-handed. You know what I mean? Nothing's really truly just ours, you know? And I think I get in that mentality like, well, this is mine and I want to do this, but I see how Zach does something or I see how Jeremiah does something. And I'm like, man, I want to do it like they do, you know? But that's not a bad mentality to say like, I can lean from these guys, you know? And so whenever insecurity does come, if I'm just being honest with you, I have to remind myself, what's the real goal here? Is the real goal about just us? Is it mine? Is it art? No, it's Jesus. And we get to steward this. And so that helps with insecurity to realize, man, it's not about me. You know what I mean? It's not even about us. It's about him. And so just refocusing on those things.
Man, so good, guys. Well, let me just tell you, I'm convinced, I'm working on a thing for the E3 stuff in May on personal growth. And I think overcoming insecurities is number one on the list for me. It is, I see it, God's really even revealed to me at 45 years old that my role now is that of like a coach. Like, I'm not supposed to be the superstar. I'm not supposed to be outplaying. I'm not supposed to be... when I go and try to do that, it messes things up. It messes the chemistry up. It messes things, and I'm the first one to jump back into it. But it's fun to get to the point where you can celebrate somebody else's gifts or greatness. Just because they have something doesn't mean that you don't have something. And I love that. And so, man, I think that is so powerful. And I'm telling you guys, I know I've said this to you guys, but you three, man, you're inspiring me to be a better leader, because you guys you're crushing it. You're doing such a good job. And I think this is just a cycle of life. I don't think this is y'all's generation, my generation, the generation above me. I don't think it's just our generations, but I think I think when I was y'all's age, there was always this feeling man, they're looking down on me, or they don't see everything that I have, or they're not aware of the gifts that I have. And I think sometimes that older generation feels like, man, they don't respect the older generation, or they're not, it's just this back and forth. What is one thing that you guys would say, man, I wish the older generation knew this about our generation? Like that what is if you could just say one thing that I wish they knew about my generation, what would it be?
Man, that's a good question. I guess for me, I guess you could trust us,
Yeah. Come on, that's great.
I think that's the biggest thing. You could trust us. The same call that you had on your life when God called you is the same call that we heard too, you know? And so God is doing a work in us. And so you could trust us in whatever you need us to do. Yeah. And man, we're ready to learn.
Yeah,
I
love that.
So I think that's the biggest thing.
I think for us is I think we need each other.
Yeah.
I think there's things that we can learn from the older generation. And I also think there's things that our generation can teach the older generation.
Yeah.
And I think like if we start working together in those things, I think we'll go so much further.
Yeah. I love that.
I think for our generation, and even the generation coming that we're pastoring right now, like never before, I think there's a hungry for authenticity.
Yeah.
And real. Because, man, the students we talk to every week, we're probably the worst communicator they listen to, because they've got TikTok, they've got YouTube.
Yeah.
In this age, a pastor, a preacher at a church is probably never going to be the best communicator the people listen to.
So
and they
true.
don't need the dynamic communication. They need real.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I'm hungry for. What our students are hungry and thirsty for is real authenticity. And just knowing who you are.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are hungry for.
Yeah. So good. It's so good. And I think it's unique. I've got 3 daughters in the youth group right now. And even to go back to the giftings, because we see it on our communication team, right? Like everybody has a different way that they communicate.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Maddie, she says, so-and-so's my favorite. And Peyton says, so-and-so's my favorite. And Harper says, so-and-so's my favorite. And if we can all, buy into this mindset that you're going to have some favorites, and you're going to have some favorites, and you're going to have some favorites, then we get to reach a whole lot more people, because they come and they do that. And so I just, I commend you guys. I, even thinking this morning, getting ready to do this podcast, I was thinking about me, and if I could go back to when I was 30 and Pastor Jackie was leading the church, and I was the children's pastor, and then the youth pastor, and then the connection pastor, I think one of you said it earlier, but I think one of the things that I would change is just buying in to the leader and their vision and where they want to go. And I can sit here today and say that these guys right here have bought in. I know they've got aspirations. I know they've got dreams. I know they've got visions about what they want to do. But in this moment, you guys have been so extremely easy to lead. And you will figure out one day, you'll look down and know that you've got people that are really easy to lead and people that are not easy to lead. You guys are so easy to lead. You're so hungry to grow and to get better. And man, I just want you guys to know that Church on the Rock is blessed by your generation. They're blessed by your presence. They're blessed by who you guys are. And so thank you for being the example in that. Thank you for leading the charge. Let me say this. If you're listening to this podcast and you've got kids in junior high, you got kids in high school, they still say junior high or they say middle school? Sorry, that's my
both.
Okay, is that both? Am I good? Yeah. Junior high, middle school. If you're a young adult and you're listening to this, you need to connect with these guys at your campus. Get to know them. They're doing amazing things, and I know it sounds old for me to say, but I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of the boldness and authority that you preached with yesterday. It was amazing, and I'm so thankful. The future is bright here at Church on the Rock because of your generation. So thank you guys for being here with us today. Thank you for tuning in. As always, like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the One More Thought podcast.